Good morning. Dwayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. Nice, cool morning this morning here in Bandera, Texas. We're about a week and a half from Christmas, but it's not as bad as it was. It's warmed up from yesterday, and the wind isn't blowing like it was the day before. So we got all the feeding done this morning, and I came back up here, and Mama made us a nice breakfast of fried eggs and bacon sandwiches on toast, and got coffee and got me a good morning cigar. For those who will ask, it's Charter Oak Connecticut Shade. I haven't done a cigar video for a while, and I want to do one this morning. And I've done a series of videos lately on training your horse and different things on your horse. But this morning, I want to just step back and do a thought, a philosophy on training yourself, an aspect that you need to consider for yourself, for your horse. And I've mentioned this in passing in other videos, okay? But we need to get in the habit of asking yourself why on everything, on everything having to do with your horse. The rest of your life but it may pass over to that too, okay? So you need to ask yourself two whys every time you do something. All right, now, like I said, I've touched on this before. If you start with your gear, look at the bit that you're using on your horse and ask yourself, why am I using that bit? And you should be able to give a logical, scientific answer. And then you need to ask yourself, is there a reason why I should use a different bit? Now, if you come up with a good answer, good, then move on. Ask yourself, look at your saddle. Why am I using that back cinch? Why am I using that breast collar? And then ask yourself, is there a reason why it would be better if I don't use that or I don't use that? And then once you've answered that, moved on. We'll get somewhere here in a second, okay? So when you go, if you're going on a ride and you go to load your horse in the trailer, how do you load your horse in the trailer? Well, you say, well, I have a 14-foot or 16-foot bumper pull horse trailer, and it's a straight load. So I load my horse in, I load him on the left side, and I tie his head up. Why? Ask yourself why. I'm not saying it's wrong. This is deeper than that. Ask yourself why. And then ask yourself, is there a reason why it would be better to do something different? You say, well, I slant load. Okay, you pull your in, you slant load. I tie my horse. You tie your horse with what? Well, I've got one of them little bungee snaps that comes in and goes to the halter. Okay, why? The answer may be perfectly fine. The point is not the answer, the point is the question. Now, you may have to dig a little bit to get down to the nuts and bolts of that one, okay? But ask yourself why. When you get to where you're going and you go to unload your horse, what do? You say, well, I backed my horse out of the trailer. Why? Well, I turn my horse around and lead him out of the trailer forward. Why? Well, my horse just rides free in the trailer. He's not tied up, and I open the gate and he just comes out. Why? All those in their own settings are legitimate. That's not my point. And then ask yourself, is there a reason why I should do something different? When you get your horse and you bring your horse out and you you say, I ask you, what are you going to do? I'm going to tie my horse up. Why? Well, because we're out here at this trailhead, and if I don't tie him up, he'll probably go home. Okay, that's a legitimate answer. But the point is, you ask the question, why am I doing this? I'm going to tie my horse up out here on the trail. Why? Well, because I need to tighten my cinch up, and he won't stand. He'll take off and leave. Okay, where are you going to tie your horse up? I'm going to tie him up to that tree right there. Why? Well, because it's close and handy and there's flat, level ground so I can work on my horse. Is there a reason why that would not be the best place to tie your horse? Oh, that tree limb is dead. If he twists, if he pulls, if he goes to put his head down to graze, he might break that tree limb off. Maybe I should not do that. You see where we're going here. I'm going to tie my horse up here on this ring on the side of my horse trailer so I can saddle him. Why? Well, because the ring is right here next to my tack room. My saddle's in the tack room, so everything's close and handy. Okay, you have a good reason. So now ask yourself, is there a reason why I should not do this? Oh, well, because we parked in a spot that's knee-high in grass. And my horse is a food hound, and right now I'm trying to teach him not to always fight me to go down and graze and carry on. And so if I stand him knee-high in grass and then tie his head up, it's going to frustrate him, and he's going to keep fighting to do that. So maybe I need to pick another spot to tie. Do you see where I'm going with this? I see things here on the ranch that people do all the time. And they do them because that's what somebody said. They saw it on TV. They saw it on a video. We brought a 4-year-old filly in. She's super nice. I would buy her in a heartbeat. Okay, the ranch owners, they brought her in, and she's broke to ride, but she's not what I would call broke, and she's thoroughly jacked up. I mean, just real. And she come in, and I told him, I said, she's not ready to put in the string. She's not ready. First off, they were feeding her strategy, a lot of strategy, and they weren't riding her, and she's only 4 years old. I said she's overfed and underworked, and she needs to be ridden. Well, the boss told one young man, I want you to put her in this 30-foot round pen every day for 30 minutes. I want you to lunge her 15 minutes to the left and 15 minutes to the right every day. That's what I want you to do. And so he left, and so the young man started to do that. Now, I know it's the boss, and it's the boss's horse and the boss's ranch, but I'm at the age right now that I don't care. So the young man came out, and I said, let me ask you a question. And he said, okay. I said, why? What is the advantage of running that mare 15 minutes in a circle in one direction and 15 minutes in a circle in another direction and then putting her up every day? Why? Logically, physically, intellectually, why would you do that? And he's like, I don't know. I said, well, you might want to figure that out. So he went to the boss and asked the boss. And he did it very wisely. Why, what is the purpose in this? Why are we doing this? And there wasn't a good answer. And so it's the why. They down here, so somebody got upset at me this week. Somebody from outside who had been here before came in, and they feed this sweet feed here. And I stopped feeding the horses. We feed the horses this feed, a large Folgers coffee can every morning. And then they come in and they're upset because I wasn't feeding them again at night, this grain. They stand free choice on big round bales of hay all day long, all night long. And it's slow season, they're not getting worked. And so he come in and said, are you not feeding the horses at night? And I'm like, no. Well, he got thoroughly upset. I found out later, from someone else, because he wasn't going to come face me with that. So I asked the guys, I said, okay, let's ask a question. Why? Somebody tell me nutritionally, physically, why we should feed these horses again at night. If you're going to do something, know why you're doing it. And they're like, I said, what is the protein content of the feed that you're feeding? Nobody knew. What is the fat content? Nobody knew. How much are they being ridden right now? They're not being ridden much. So tell me, what is the purpose? The why. Before you get righteously indignant at somebody for the way they're doing something, look at what you're doing and the way you're doing it and ask yourself, why? And ask yourself, why would I may want to do something different? You need to always be ahead of your horse. You have to think for your horse. You have to think, I'm going to tie my horse up here. I see it all the time down here. I'm going to tie my horse up. Okay. I'm going to tie my horse up right here. Why are you going to tie your horse up right here? Well, because those 3 rings are taken, and that's closest to be able to bring the saddle out of the barn. Why would you maybe want to rethink that and not tie your horse there? I don't know. Because you're tying your horse right beside that little 4-foot man gate, and they're bringing about 12 more horses right by, and we may get a fight and a horse wreck. Why? Do your horsemanship logically and reasonably, and know why you do what you do. I'm not saying that what you do is wrong. I'm saying to be an intelligent horse person, you need to know why you do what you do. Okay? This isn't about training your horse. This is about training yourself. Little things. When I am on a young horse that I'm just starting, that wants to step off when you go to get on, and I'm working on that, and I have to get off to help some guest, I turn the horse around and face the string before I get back on. Why? Because they have to turn around to go on down the trail. And so I set them up to succeed so they're not moving down the trail while I'm trying to mount. 100 little things you're always asking. You have to always be thinking. They're not four-wheelers. They're always thinking. You can bet they're always thinking. But they're not always thinking the right thing. So to be a success, you got to do the thinking for them. And the only way you're going to do their thinking for them is if you're always thinking. And you always know why you do everything you do. Okay? All right. I hope that helps you. If it does, do me a favor. Click like, subscribe if you haven't. Click that bell. Got some folks have gone over and gone on Patreon and are supporting the channel now, and I really appreciate that. If you want to go check that out, we have some things in the pipeline in the works, and we're hoping to get school up and going by this spring. We're working towards that. Some things are moving that way. I'll let you know when it comes up. It won't be here in Texas. Won't be here in Bandera. Will not be here on the Rancho Cortez. But I'll let you know as things go along. So hope you have a good day. I hope this helps you, and we'll catch you guys next time.